Okay. Hey y'all, welcome to Grab a Drink with me,
Marisol,
and Eliana. Today we're gonna try a drink called Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, and I have the flavor cherry cola. What do you have?
I have classic cola.
Yeah, so the cool thing about these, they have 5% alcohol, 0 sugars, and they're only 100 calories.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm not a big seltzer person, but
Neither am I.
I know my son has tried these with his friends, and I think it
So you haven't even tried like White Claw? Is that a seltzer?
yeah, but I'm not a fan of it. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not like
Truly's.
I'm not a fan of those
No?
either. I don't know it. I don't know what I don't like about it.
The seltzer part?
Maybe
Are those seltzers?
I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. I like sweet drinks. I like sweet mixed
okay.
drinks. I like but I do like your non-sweet drinks occasionally. But I don't know what it is about the seltzers.
Yeah.
It's almost like when I first tried mineral water and I didn't like it at all, and I tried like 10 flavors and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
But then I tried it again and I found one that I liked.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see.
I don't know about these. We'll have to give it a try.
We'll give it a shot.
So I imagine each time we do a podcast,
Yes.
the idea is for you to grab a drink too, try something new, either something that we might be trying. Maybe we'll put something up like, oh, this week we'll try, I don't know.
Or it's something that you guys want us to try, maybe suggestions that's really good, whether it be a mixed drink, non-mixed drink.
It doesn't have to be alcohol either.
Right.
It could be teas, coffees.
Yeah, anything.
Anything to drink.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, whatever comes to mind. So we'll take a sip of this, and then if you guys let us know how if you've tried these and what y'all like. Because it is our first podcast, we're just gonna kind of play it by ear, just kind of go through it. We're gonna have our Instagram that we're gonna have up, where we'll put maybe questions for people
polls.
to ask us, polls,
Yeah.
different things that we'll have out there so that you can help us along, different ideas that y'all may have, whatever it may be that you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah, different topics and stuff.
Yeah, stuff that y'all want us to try out, whether maybe foods, I don't know, restaurants. We're in Texas, by the way, so if there's stuff that you want us to try that's not in Texas, yeah, we can. So, yeah, so that should
The
be
options
fun.
are endless.
Yep, exactly. So let's
Okay,
take a
let's try this.
let's not just sure it doesn't go everywhere.
And I have.
It looks like a regular soda,
soda.
although it's made by a beer
Oh, it
company.
smells like cherry.
It just smells funky.
Okay,
Not bad.
not bad.
It does, it almost tastes like a Diet Coke. That's what mine tastes like.
Mine tastes like a cherry Coke because it's
Because
cherry.
it's cherry.
I definitely taste the cherry in it, which is good, and I get a hint of the alcohol in the back. And not so much an aftertaste because I still have the like cherry taste, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Not bad. I could probably drink this every once in a while.
So thanks to your son.
I know, yes, thanks to my son, because he had some and we didn't know what we were going to drink today.
Yeah.
So we're going to try these out. They tend to drink all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Like his friends will say, hey, let's go get these drinks, let's try them out. And then a group of them try them out. And sometimes there's a lot left and we're like, yeah, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'll be like, hey, try this is really good. And that's it. And then it's empty. So
Yeah.
that's it.
So
Alright.
we were thinking, just kind of throwing topics out there. We were talking earlier today about reality shows, and I was kind of telling Marisol, like, I'm kind of into the Real Housewives. I'm into anything Bravo, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then I kind of have some reality shows on Netflix that I got into. One called The Circle, which it's a social media experiment. It's pretty cool. And then I know you had mentioned yesterday, what was it? That was going to air.
Oh, today we're Big Brother fans.
Oh, okay.
We love Big Brothers. And with your son spending the night last night, he laid there and watched the entire thing with
Really?
us. Yes. So
Okay,
that might
so
be a thing that he might bring to your house.
What is Big Brother? Because I've never really like watched it. I've heard of it because I've heard other people like watch it and
Yeah.
stuff, but I've never really like sat down in an episode and watched it.
So it's a non-Bravo reality show. It's on CBS, and it's, I want to say 16 people, I think it is, that come into the house, and they're locked down into this house, and they play games to be like head of household. The head of household ends up nominating 2 people that are going to be evicted that week. So each week somebody is evicted from the house. But as it gets closer towards the end, more people can be evicted. So sometimes they do double eviction. It's a variety of people, single, married, students, doctors, attorneys. Like this time they have an attorney in there. A lot of times people don't want to share what they are because they can be like really smart and they're like, no, I just want to be like the geek and not show that I really am smart. Or they're just housewives or whatever. And then they also do, in the winter, they do a celebrity one, and they get just random celebrities, but it's a shorter period of time because you know they can't be out for very long.
Mm-hmm.
But so it started last night. They had the people come in, but right away they had them pick a ticket and they were going to start a game. And normally they go in and they're like, pick your room, and they're like running rampant into the house. They go, they find the rooms, they put their bag, and they're like, this is my room.
So before even getting settled in.
Right, but they only do a few at a time, like 4 at a time. So yeah, if you're in the last group, it's just forever. But this time they made them pick a ticket, and then they went outside, and they started a game, and they got somebody who was head of household already, and they're gonna end up picking who's gonna be evicted, and then they kind of did just a different type of game. So it's kind of cool. But it was, you know, the first time when they go in, everybody's dressed really nice, and you know, but they had a section where they were in, what do they call those outside toilets?
Outhouse.
No, like the ones you see at
porta potties.
Porta potties, yes,
Yeah.
that was a thing. So they were sitting in there, and whoever didn't get the answer right, the last person, they're gonna splash them with stuff. It was so disgusting.
Are they?
And they're like
They're
laughing.
not used porta potties, right?
No, I'm sure they're new, but
Okay.
it like went up somebody's
No.
nose in their mouth.
Too
It was
gross.
so gross. It was just blue, I don't know what, slime,
Yeah.
gunk. It was so gross.
That's
It was
disgusting.
disgusting. So anyways, it was kind of cool. They do it, I think, 3 times a week, and
Okay.
we always watch it, and we kind of like, hey, we like these people, this is who we were gonna, you know, pick, and then sometime maybe by the 2nd or 3rd we're like, okay, yeah, no, we changed our mind.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be fun. Maybe that'll be something he
And when
wants
is
to
it
watch.
streamed on?
CBS.
CBS. Oh, so just regular TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we watch it on Hulu,
Yeah.
but live.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Um,
so was
that
something
reminds me of that show, The Circle, that I was talking about, because it's a social experiment where it's just based off social media. So these people are in an apartment building, and they each have their own little apartment, and they either can pretend to be themselves, or pretend to be like a catfish. And so they portray somebody else. So some people, like this one guy went in and he was pretending to be his mom. Well, obviously he knows his mom very well, so he could kind of play her. So by the end of it, it's the same thing where they get ranked on, I guess, like ability in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up ranking who they like the most, and then those people go in afterwards and kind of eliminate who they want to leave, because somebody has to leave. But the only
Okay.
twist is that sometimes they bring more people in. They had I watched all the seasons, so I may mix up all of this, but they had Lance Bass, his assistant, come in, but they played a video of him. They got him in on it, so she pretended to be him, and the whole time they thought he was one of the celebrities that was in, and that turned out to be a bust, and they figured it out. But it's pretty cool because by the end, obviously, they win a cash prize of $100,000, and then they get to figure out who's the catfish. And so when they get eliminated, that person that gets eliminated gets to go and visit somebody in their apartments. So total isolation, not being able to physically see the person, and then if you eliminate them and they want to come see you, then it kind of busts. And then sometimes it's like, well, you're playing a catfish and somebody's coming to see you, so they might let your secret out of the bag, because afterwards, after they go and visit, they go do like an interview, kind of like a goodbye, and revealing if they're a catfish or not.
Oh, okay.
And so sometimes they don't specifically say like, oh, this person's a catfish, to like just, you know, beware. They just kind of give a hint of like, you know, don't believe everything somebody says. You know, there's some people in here that are misleading. So then it kind of leaves the suspicion of like, ooh, but obviously you're watching the show, so you know who's a catfish, who isn't. And then like you kind of root for certain people, and that's a show that Mijo got into because he happens to sit down and watch with me some shows. So he ended up watching it, and he was like, oh, I really want this person to, you know, be ranked 1 and stuff. And of course there's sometimes where I'm like, okay, maybe you shouldn't watch this show, maybe you should go over there for a little bit, because he just really ultimately liked the rankings to know who would rank high and who didn't rank very well, and that's the part that he really caught on to. But it kind of reminds me in a sense similar to where it's like a competition of some sort, and they're competing against one another. So
I like those. We saw a little bit of the challenge also. Do you watch the challenge?
No, I didn't watch, but I watched Teen Mom. Who's the I forgot, no,
Corey.
Yes, he was on the challenge.
Yes,
and she was on the challenge too. What was her name? Not brain fart. Cheyenne, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the only connection that I have.
Well, I wanted to start watching this one because it does have some of the people from Big Brother, from previous ones.
Okay.
I think it had some people from The Amazing Race, which is another one. Do you watch Amazing Race?
No, I don't
That
know
one's
what that
good
is.
too. So that one but they go to like out of the country and they're like on foot, or they do have to fly, and it's more of a, what do you call, I mean, they are competitions, but that one is more athletic, and you know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And the challenge last night, we started to watch it, and Rico and I were talking about it, and he's like, would you do that with me? And I'm like, would you do that with me? Because it's a lot. And the first thing that they did was, I don't remember how many story building, and they had to rappel down it, but they had to solve a math problem going down it. And so you're remembering it, and then you have to go to the bottom and enter the numbers, and then you get a certain amount of money. I think it was like 5,000 or 10,000, and stay in it. So it was a lot to it, but they had to take these stairs all the way up. Girl, this girl,
in order to repel.
Yes. She was like passing out, and no, I'm like, that's a lot.
Did you watch the Teen Mom, the one where they got everybody together from different seasons?
Like, it was almost like a vacation or something. Yes.
And the one where they did the obstacle course and Brianna at the end?
Yes.
That would be me on the challenge.
Yes.
At the bottom.
Yes, where she ended up in the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she just overworked it and was, I don't know, dehydrated or something.
Yeah.
But that would totally be me.
Yeah, that was, I told him that I'd probably end up getting mad at him for something, like, come on, come on, pick it up.
Competitive then.
Yeah, and I would be mad that maybe he wouldn't be going very fast, or he would, I don't know, overanalyze. I don't know. I think we would just end up arguing, which a lot happens in The Amazing Race. When we've seen them, that's what they end up
I'm
doing.
gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah. So that one just started last night also, so you guys still have time to catch up. Another one besides All the Housewives, which I love All the Housewives. Like, I love all of them. Are you watching the one on Peacock where they have housewives from different ones? This is the second one. The first one they did, and they went to,
It was a vacation, right?
yeah, I don't know, was it like Turks and Caicos or something?
And it was the one with Cynthia. The previous one was
Yes.
Cynthia. I haven't seen the recent one. I
So
didn't know
the-
another one came out.
Yes. So the recent one
Okay.
has Dorinda, I think is her name, and it's her manor,
Oh, from New
whatever.
York.
Yes.
Dorinda. Okay, yeah.
And then it had Jill came in from New York also.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Phaedra from Atlanta.
Oh, that's what the previews was from then. I think I saw previews about it, and I saw something with Phaedra, and I was like, she's not coming back to Atlanta. Like,
Yes,
what is that?
That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
And then it had Brandy Glanville on there.
Yes.
Yes.
And I remember watching a clip where Phaedra was telling, I don't know who she was talking to, but she was saying how forgot her name. Kenya.
Oh.
How Kenya was warning her about Brandy.
Yes.
Yeah.
She talked about that. Yes.
Okay, well, and it's
So-
on what? Peacock?
Peacock.
Okay.
Yes.
I knew
So-
I downloaded Peacock for some reason. I was just
Yes,
like,
that's on there.
well, the other day I was like, I have Peacock. I have so many different streaming apps.
Yes.
But there's nothing to watch. By the end of the day, I'm literally searching for something. Or I'm waiting for my one show to come on one program, and I'm just like, I have all these apps because I was literally telling him
Yes.
like, what do I watch on Peacock? I was like, why did we even get Peacock? And of course, for the boys' side,
Right.
wrestling and everything, we got it. But I was like, how do you work this? Like, what
Yeah.
is in here? But okay, I can watch that.
Yeah, you can watch that because you can watch season 1 because you'll
Yeah.
have all that, and then I forget how many shows. I think I've watched 2 or 3 maybe, but I mean it's pretty good, and it's got Tamara and Vicky from the OC on there.
What?
And this is
Vicky?
right when the day before she went is
Uh-huh.
when she broke up, or they broke up, her and her ex, whatever his name is. So it was the day before, so she's like a mess
Oh.
because that whole thing went down and
So we
whatever.
caught her at a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's I mean it's good. I like watching all that because it kind of
Yeah.
brings up, from different areas and stuff, so that was good. Besides those, we watch, what else do we watch? I have Discovery because I have some shows that we watch, and I like it because there's no commercials on Discovery.
Okay.
So we watch Plathville, Welcome to Plathville, have you seen that?
I don't have Discovery, so no, I don't know.
But it's on Hulu if you have live, but we watch it on Discovery.
How do I know
Way
if I
too
have
many.
Hulu Live? I think Hulu came with my phone.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
they give you certain subscriptions. But I don't think it's the live
live.
one. I think it's just the basic.
okay. So we do the live because of the locals or
Mhm.
whatever. But we watch Welcome to Plathville, which had it was people who they were raised almost like in a closet, like they were raised at home, homeschooled, everything very close.
Bizarre.
Yes,
World.
yes. And then one of them, she ended up like saying, no, I want to go and do my thing. She
Yeah.
wanted to dress however, she wanted to do whatever. So now I don't know how many seasons into it now, but now the husband and wife are getting a divorce, which is crazy because
That's
we're
not a
like,
common thing.
no. And the way they were, 24 years they've been married, 9 kids. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So kind of crazy. What else do we watch? Mavs. Do you watch Mavs?
No.
Married at First Sight. Oh my god. Yes. we watched-
No. What is that on?
That is on Lifetime, but again, we watch it on Hulu.
Yeah.
So that season, last week they started with going through and trying to pick out who they're gonna match and all that. Yesterday is when they were like, okay, now you got 2 weeks, you're getting married in 2 weeks, and they're gonna start the process of that. So I don't know if they start getting married next week or what.
There was a show on, I think Netflix similar to that. But one of the NSYNC guys was with this one, was the creator of it.
It was Nick Lachey and Vanessa.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what the
forget the
show
name.
was called, but it was kind of similar, where
Yeah.
they were in pods, they didn't get to see each other,
Yes.
and so when they finally met, I mean, obviously the end goal is to get married.
Right. And these people are getting married no matter what in 2 weeks. A legally binding marriage
No,
in
I
2
can't do
weeks.
that. No, thank you.
What else do we watch that's like that? Trying to think of all the different shows because we tend to have 90 Day Fiance. No.
Oh, I do.
Yes.
That with all the, what's that, HGTV or
Mhm.
whatever it's called. I do that. My 1,000-pound sisters,
The
1,000
600 pound life and 1,000
Yeah,
pound sisters.
yeah.
Yes.
I watched all those.
I know it sounds bad, but I like to watch those when we eat because I feel like I eat less because I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
I was watching one yesterday and then it got cut off, so I don't know what happened. But
Yeah, I don't know. I think I finished it and I'm up to date.
the sisters.
The sisters one. But I was seeing something online too that obviously you can't believe everything you see online, but something to the extent of like they had schemes going on and stuff where they were getting money.
Yeah.
I think off their YouTube or whatever, and I was kind of like, oh, that's bullshit.
Well, they were talking about the one that's not married, the one that has the breathing tube. How she's got like several boyfriends or guys. That I was like, what? But I'm thinking, are they just guys that want to get some sort of fame, or
I don't know, or they have a fetish maybe,
or that? Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. So those I watched. What was the first one we said? That spiral.
90 days.
Yeah, I watched that, and then after the 90 days, like because obviously
Like
you
diaries?
watch them.
Do you watch the 90-day diaries?
Is that what it is?
Well, they have that one because they have so many spin-offs off of them, I think. Because they have diaries, which I was watching. Rico doesn't like to watch that. He does like to watch 90 Day, kind of, because some of these people are really annoying this season.
Yeah.
Sorry, but diaries, because I was catching up on that today. There was after the 90 days or
I
something.
think that one I watched. Because it was even like one of the couples, even after COVID, their time together. I think they had a kid during COVID and everything. I can't remember the couple's name, but I remember after 90 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Family Chantel. They are a couple from 90 Days. He's from the Dominican. She's from Atlanta. The mom didn't like her. And she believed, and her family believed, that he was coming just for a green card.
Yeah.
And that's how the mom set them up, because she had seen some stuff. The girl's mom had seen some stuff about the guy's mom. And it turned in, now it's like a spin-off. But this morning, was it this morning or yesterday, I was like, oh my God, they're getting a divorce after 5 years, because the season just started. I don't know, it's been a couple shows in, and they're having issues and stuff. They've been married 5 years. She finally graduated. She's a nurse. He's now able to work outside of the warehouse, because he was working in a warehouse. And he's like, and I did it because I wanted her to finish school. I did what I had to do. Now it's my turn. He's now a realtor, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
But things just haven't made, and they bought a house. Like, it's crazy. And now they're getting a divorce, and they filed restraining orders against each other.
Okay.
I'm like, what in the world? It like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the drama is even more intense because it was crazy before.
Yeah.
The 90 days, I think. Oh, Love in Paradise. Have you seen that one?
No.
Very similar to 90 Days. I think they just changed it to kind of give it a twist.
Yeah.
But they go, same thing, to another country. But this time, a lot of them will go from the U.S. to the other countries. Excuse me. And they try and make things work or whatever. One of them, they had a baby. She came back, and that's kind of where it was left off. She ended up having the baby as soon as she got back. It was like an emergency. She was gonna try and get him down before, and he wasn't sure about it because he didn't want to be married. So it wasn't like have to get married, but that's kind of where they wanted to go. And so I've been watching that, but it's only because there was one couple that came back, and so I wanted to see what happened.
How they played out.
Yeah. So those, and then Bling Empire that I was telling you, that was really good.
That one I haven't seen, but I've seen it. I don't even know if I've seen the trailers. Yeah.
They live in California. Some of them came from, I don't know, it's in Asia, I guess, from somewhere in Asia. and most of them came, and they're like filthy rich people. Like, I'm like, what in the world? Like, crazy. There is one guy that he's never been rich, never had a lot of money. He hangs around all these other people that do. They all work, or most of them do, but I don't know. It's a good show. I think there's 2 seasons. I think you'd like.
What's it called again?
Bling Empire.
Oh, Bling Empire.
Bling Empire.
Okay.
That one was a good one.
Okay.
I had Aiden's girlfriend watching it. But that one was good. And I don't know what else. Do you watch Dance Moms?
No.
They were watching Dance Moms. Like, yes and no, I think. I mean,
I used to watch it back in the day.
yeah, and
With that one lady.
Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With her. I feel like I have something in my eye. Sorry, I keep picking at it because I'm like, I have something.
Something here. So yeah, that's those are probably the. I mean, because I feel like we have our Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, and then Wednesday now in Mavs, which is just one show, and then that's it. But now we've got Big Brother, which will take us 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Like, we need more shows to
That's
watch.
great. So it just airs 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I'm on the opposite end because it's either sports that are on the TV,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be whatever's in season, wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar now with wrestling. Besides going to actual shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's different, like, they air different days of the week as well, like Monday Night Raw. They have, I think Friday SmackDown. I could be getting that wrong, but I find myself watching it as well. And Mijo will literally come in, sit down, and start watching, and then he gets bored and he walks away, and I'm still watching.
Still watching
and I'm
it.
like, why am I watching this? But yeah, or like we watch random shows, just because like I was saying earlier, there's things that sometimes there's not something to watch, so you just put stuff on.
Just whatever, and then you get hooked, and now you want to watch. If it's a season or whatever, let me just watch it all.
Yeah, like my mom got me into on Netflix. She got me into the originals. So it's kind of like with the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
I wasn't really a fan when I was hearing people talk about it because I was like, I didn't want to kind of go down that rabbit hole because it makes me think of Twilight. And I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it when it happened, but a little past it. And so I was like, no, it's okay. No, but she would talk about it a lot, so I was like, okay, let me see what she's talking about. Yeah. And I watched the originals, got hooked. And it's the same concept. It's vampires, it's wolves, and it's witches. And I was like, okay, fine. And then that ended, and I was like, okay, that's a break. But then I was kind of sad because it ended and everything. And she was like, oh, well, this Legacy comes after the originals. And I was like, okay. So she told me about it, and I was like, no, don't want to get into it again. Yeah. And I ended up getting into it. And I just finished it yesterday, and I found myself literally texting her, like, why did this person die? What happened here? Why didn't you tell me about this? And I'm like, thanks for getting me hooked again. So now, out of the I guess not series, because they're different shows, but kind of wrapped around the same characters. The Vampire Diaries, I don't know if it fits in with that or not. Right. But that's another series, and I was like, I'm not getting into that. I'm not doing this again. Because I find myself, whether it's watching it on the TV or putting on the phone and like moving around, putting my AirPods in, cleaning, and just having it play. And so I don't necessarily sometimes need to see what's going on, just like hearing. I find myself doing that a lot. So that's how I was able to finish that, because she was like, wow, you're going through this pretty quick. And I was like, it's 4 seasons, but it's because I have it. Or like in the car, I noticed that I will literally put an episode of something on and just have it play, and not really obviously
because
watch it.
You can picture what's going on and stuff. Yeah, so I do that a lot. So I do that to kind of try and finish, because I want to hear what's happening, but it takes me, kind of like I told you the other day, it takes me a while sometimes, because I'll fall asleep if we watch it late at night, because by the time we get in bed, sometimes we don't start watching our shows till like 10 at night. That's late, especially when we have 3 or 4, and it's like, okay, let's put these in order of what we want to watch. And then then we'll go and like, okay, tomorrow, hey,
We'll pick
did you
up.
watch? Did you not? Okay, because I'm gonna start watching it, and you can watch it too. Because we like to watch them together, but sometimes we can't. Like, oh,
Sometimes
Little
it's hard.
People, Little World, Big World, Little People. Do you watch that?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
We've been watching that too. So see, we have way too many shows that we
Yeah.
like to watch. So sometimes we have to watch them separate.
But that's
or-
not bad because then
No.
you don't really hit like a dry period where you don't have something to watch.
Well, except for like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But then those are the times that we're not at home.
Yeah.
Or, so it's
Running
okay.
around. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably about it. And then as far as shows, that's about it that we kind of watch.
Yeah,
So
I kind of watch as well.
yeah. But I'm glad that glad that it's summer. I like the heat. I don't like it to be
The 3-digit
cold.
heat.
You know, hit and miss. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, it's like really hot. But I prefer heat over winter.
I prefer. I mean, if I'm picking out of all 4 seasons,
Fall.
I prefer fall. Spring is okay,
Yeah.
but I prefer like right now. We've been going back and forth between obviously heading to Laredo and stuff, and that's no joke heat. That is literally like
That's really hot.
like scorching hot.
Yeah.
And coming back here, it feels similar, but it's not as hot. But it's like over here, there's at least wind.
Right.
Wind going. Over there, it's just hot, no wind, just
Like
feel
burning
it on
hot.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't mind summer if I'm in a pool.
Yeah.
Or I'm relaxing.
Yes.
But I noticed during the summertime, like, I literally won't do my hair. I won't do my makeup.
Because it's hot.
It melts
It's-
off.
I just saw some girl on Instagram talking about that. She goes, I'm going to do my face really quick. But my hair, she goes, I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hot. I just want it up in a bun. And
Yeah.
I don't know where it was that she lived, but she was talking about that. You know, I don't want to do it. Which I try to because I'll do it on Sunday for church,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll kind of try and leave it down for a couple of days, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I think it's too hot, and so then it's up again.
Well, for me, it's even just because I have curly hair naturally, so it's easier for me to work with curly hair versus like, well, I can obviously do like if I do my hair, I'll blow it out, maybe I'll straighten it, but I leave that for a couple days,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually it'll be down, it'll be maybe half up, maybe some front braids or something.
Right.
But curly hair seems to work easier, and then if all else fails, just throw it in half.
Yeah.
Because that's the best choice. Or that's what I usually rock the most. But
Yeah.
yeah, the heat, definitely the hair is one thing that just I can't really follow through because something ends up happening to it.
Yes, because it's just hot. But I do like the heat. I like the because I don't like to be cold. I don't like to be cold.
Yeah.
I hate when
But there's blankets.
Yeah,
or
that's what
jackets.
he's always telling me. And I'm like, you know, I just want to be in a t-shirt and shorts and be fine.
Yeah.
I don't like for it to be freezing. Our room is always freezing.
Yeah.
It's the coldest room in the house. I don't know why. But sometimes even he'll say when we're working, it's like really cold in here, and it's not even that the AC is really low. I guess maybe because there's not so many bodies running around, or the doors aren't opening and closing. Because sometimes in the morning, everybody leaves and they're going somewhere other than like being here.
Yeah.
And it's just him. But somebody will go, both of the boys will go with their girlfriends and they're gonna go do something, or they go work out or go work or something. And then Chloe was babysitting, or she's in her room, and then it's like so quiet and there's not a lot of movement.
And the ducks.
And
Just
then the
lay
dogs,
down.
same thing. They just, that's it.
They're
They
there.
just lay there, and then that's it. Until you start opening and closing the doors, and it starts to. But we'll walk outside because it feels like it's really cold.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
how long do you last outside?
Not very
Before it's
long.
like, no.
Not really. Not really. Or it's like, okay, I don't have anything to eat. Let's go pick up something for lunch real quick. And we'll go out and we're like, oh my god, Like it's
just
really
going
hot.
out, you're sweating.
Yes.
Or if you have like my little car has leather seats, and I thought that was a perk to have, but sitting in it in shorts,
It's
just
hot.
Yeah.
It like burns your legs.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, so I do like summer. I like summer because I feel that I just like the food that you eat, the drinks that you have. I just find it more lively. I don't know.
because people are off too.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think because you think of summer vacation, you think of fun.
Even though I'm not taking
Cruise.
any vacation.
I know.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Now with prices, but
No, exactly. Well, and everybody getting sick. Like 2 people from my work, one went to Vegas, one went to Europe, and both came back, and now they had the vid.
yeah.
And it's like, so you can't really. It hasn't gone away, and I feel like we're back in another turn.
Yeah.
So
And then something about there's a new variant out as well.
Mm.
I had a friend literally text me before I got here. She was like, just want to make sure you're all okay. Because we hung out with them earlier and her son wasn't sick.
Yeah.
But ended up getting sick and having a fever, got tested. He's got COVID. And I was like,
See, you can't.
and you can't even tell because seeing them perfectly fine.
Right.
Playing perfectly fine. And she's extra precautious. She's the one that always has the hand sanitizers or, oh, don't touch that, let me wipe it down first kind of thing. And just, it ends up happening anyways. But there's several people that we know that have gotten COVID recently within the last month, and it just seems back to back. And I'm kind of like, am I a carrier or something? Like, because you don't know. So if you're asymptomatic, because I was just like, everybody I see is getting it around me, and we're not getting it. So if you feel sick later, I'm sorry. But no, I don't think we have it. Or I don't think we're carrying it. But just it's crazy that it's still around. It's not. It's not. It's not going away.
It's not going away. And that spike, I think that's what I had read, that there's a spike in town, and it's like, okay, I just don't want everybody to get sick. But they're also saying it's not as bad.
Yeah.
Because that's what my boss was telling me today, that it wasn't as bad. They're just kind of just tired.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I was tired, so did I have it? And it's like, well, no, maybe not. So and that's hard because you don't know if you have it or not. So
yeah. Well, that, and then she told me when she took her son to go get tested that they were saying it's either COVID or the flu. People are getting the flu too again. So I'm like, flu in the summer. Like, I know around, I think it's October time. Is when, I don't know if it's flu season or not, but it's when it hits.
Well, and that's what Rico had said, was that he felt worse with the flu than he did when he got COVID.
Yeah.
Because it just hit him.
I remember when I got COVID, I was just fatigued and not hungry. And then I did get questionable if I could smell fully or not. Because I would literally open bags of food and be like,
just to
trying to take big whiffs, and I'm like, I can't smell it.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose the sense of taste or smell. I feel like a little bit of smell. I couldn't. But
you know what, I was telling him, I'm like, it's so weird when you can't smell anything. It's like, are you really this is my thinking, is, are you really alive? Like, how do people go around and you can't smell? Like, are we, I don't know, it was just almost like,
it feels like it makes it dull.
yeah,
Like you're
it's
not
so
fully
weird.
experiencing
Like
something.
it's just clear. That's just all I could think of was the word clear, because you can't smell, you can't taste.
That sucks.
Yeah. Like, what's the point?
You can't smell something.
Yeah, that's the point.
I
Like,
don't
I
know.
don't care what you're giving me because I can't taste it. And then it looks gross, but okay, or it looks good, but
maybe
I can't.
it looks gross, but you can't smell it.
Yeah.
See, because like the first thing I did when I opened the drink was smell it.
Right.
I was like, wait, let me see. Is it?
That would have
That's
been weird if you'd
weird.
been like, it doesn't smell like anything.
Yeah.
Like, wait, let me smell it. Anyway, so I'm just excited that it's summer. I like summer. I've always, ever since I was little, I loved summer. I think maybe because it is mine and my sister's birthdays and they're so close, and just everything that goes along with
So you're gonna have good summer, fun times.
I hope so. I hope so. Now that my sister's here, I hope that we'll get to spend more time together.
Yeah.
The kids get to. I know the older boys love hanging out with her older boys, and then of course Chloe with them just because they're close in
They're
age.
very close in age.
Yeah.
Like, how far are they apart? Because they're both in college, right? Or no, graduate.
Well,
Did one
so
graduate?
they're all kind of like it's like a
Or could
little
you put them in
jigsaw.
order
Yeah, so it's
between
her
years?
older one,
Uh-huh.
and then her older one, and then her next one. Well, no, it's Noah, and then hers, then Aiden, and
So
then
it's in
her.
between y'all.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's
But
you know,
Chloe
but they're
and the
close.
younger one.
They're close. They're similar in age
Yeah.
too, but of course he's much taller than her. And all her boys are tall.
Yeah.
Well, two of them are much taller than one of them, but it's crazy.
And wait, how many does she have?
Three boys.
Okay.
So they like to hang out, and so it's nice because when he went to college, he loved that he got to spend time with them.
Yeah.
And then when they then COVID hit, and I didn't get to spend as much time, but they talk and play on games or whatever all the time.
Yeah.
So now we were just talking about that it's neat that they just drive up now. Because we've never lived close by each other, where we got to do that.
Because you've always lived in different towns, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so it went from waking up and sleeping in the same bed as my sister until she got married
Mm-hmm.
to I mean, I see you, yes, but not live in the same town. So it's neat to be able to
Yeah.
have that. And you have your sister that lives in the same town, so
She was 3 miles away from me.
yeah. So see, and mine it's like 3
But it's
hours
crazy because
away.
I don't see her that often as you think I should see her.
Right.
Sorry, I feel I'm a burp or something because it's right there because I keep drinking it 'cause it's actually really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see her, and now that she's doing traveling for work,
Yeah.
and she's gone a couple of days, I feel like we do talk more though.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, we FaceTime a lot more,
Yeah.
and we get on the phone a lot more. We even send this morning I went by my parents, and she has a cat, so I sent her a video of her cat. Because the cat was looking out the door, and it was super cute. She's just looking out the door, looking at the bugs or whatever that's passing by. And this cat, you have to work up to it. It's not like a cat that you just go and pet. No, this girl hisses, and she brings out the claws. My dad has gotten her because obviously my dad's like
Yeah.
an animal whisperer or something.
Yeah.
Like he loves animals but doesn't own any. But he can obviously pet her and stuff. And he's got scratched a couple times. But I'm the type of person that's like, I know you're gonna attack me, so I'll come in where you can just smell me, and then eventually I can pet you. So she was at the window, and I was talking with the cat, and she talks back, she meows back, and it's super cute. So I took a video and I sent it to her, and I was like, your cat's talking to me. And that perked up her spirits because
Yeah.
she's going back and forth and everything, and she doesn't have her cat, which
Yeah.
So that's cute. But you'd be surprised that we live so close together, or just even living in the same city, and we don't physically see each other
Right.
that often. And I don't know if it's because of moving out of my parents' house that kind of created that distance, but I think we're reconnecting a lot better now too.
Yeah. Well, and I think age sometimes has a lot to do with it
So we were so close though. I mean, we're 10 years apart, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like she was my kid basically.
Yeah.
growing up. Like I
That's
toted her around everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
See, and my sister and I are 7 years apart. So I did hang around her, but it was such a big gap that it's not like, like my kids that have friends that they can kind of talk to each other and hang out and still be cool about it. I was like, hi, I'm the little one.
Yeah.
And she had much older
Yeah.
friends, so it was kind of weird.
Oh no, Jackie got to know like all my friends, and all my friends probably follow her on social media, basically, and
Yeah.
they ask about her and stuff, just because I mean they because she was always around. I mean,
Yeah.
if I went somewhere, she was there with me. So,
Yeah.
so thinking about that, your nephews are here and everything.
Yeah.
How is the balance? I'm wondering how the balance is going to be between the girlfriend time and nephew time.
I don't know.
Or is it just gonna be like a big? Because every time I come over, it's always like a big party in here. It's just
It is.
always people here.
There's always people here at the house, yes.
I'm surprised that there's obviously the reasons why there's not people here, but there's always people here.
Right. Well, and like, was it yesterday? No, yesterday, because was it yesterday? I guess that they came. But today, it kind of started back up, and it was funny because they dropped off the little one because he wanted to hang out with Chloe, and so then yours was here with Blake, and they were kind of all being loud and everything, and I told Rick, oh my gosh, what if we had that many kids? That would be funny. But Aiden always has his friends over, like for 4th of July, it was, okay, I'm just gonna call a couple guys over. And then 4 of them come over, and then Noah brought his girlfriend over. And so everybody just kind of did it, but I think, or hopefully there will be a little bit of a balance.
Yeah.
Because the girlfriends like to hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
And they're used to.
They don't seem like they're mind-binded at all.
No, I mean, they're used to being here all the time, which is crazy, but they're used to. I will say that one girlfriend is a little bit different. Well, they're very different girlfriends, but one is more she's got her friends and her cheer, and she does all that, and because she does a competitive cheer, so she goes and she does that, and then so they kind of work out. They're always working out. Okay, so what are you doing? What am I doing? I'm gonna hang out with the guys and go do this. Okay, you're gonna go do cheer and hang out with the girls, and we'll meet up later, or tomorrow, or whatever. The other one, because I think because he works and goes to school, they kind of see each other as much as they can.
Yeah.
And then now that the cousins are here, it's like, okay, how are we gonna do that?
Yeah.
You know, because I know that they want to hang out with just him, but I think it's gonna have to be a little bit of a balance. I think they've finally gotten used to her a little bit because they were talking about that day before yesterday or something like that. I'm like, okay, so it's getting, you know, because they don't know her. Like, I mean, he's been with her for so long, so how are they doing that? So it's gotten to where they're like, okay, you know, okay, so she's been here every time we've seen her. Yeah. And every time we've come over, okay, so she's just gonna be part of it. So I think that now they're more open to, you know.
That's kind of the way it is.
Yeah. Because you just want it to be your cousin, and you just want it to be them. So she's fixing to go on vacation for 3 weeks. So.
Oh really?
So I think that they're gonna. I was just telling Rico, I said it was almost like perfect timing because they kind of came in a little bit. And now they get to
have that time.
Yeah. Because then the other one is gonna move. Because he's gonna teach, so he's gonna move. But he'll get to spend this little bit of time with just them before he leaves.
And then college starts back up.
Yeah, and then college. So it's gonna kind of work out for them a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see how the balance goes and stuff like that. So I think, but I'm excited that they're here and that they're in town, because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like, hey, we're coming over, and it's like, okay, they're here. Oh my gosh, no, it's like that.
That's quick.
Because she said, okay, can I invite him over? And I'm like, yes, that's fine. And then I heard something, and I'm like, oh, he's here already.
Yeah.
Like, that was super fast. When before we didn't, or it was a week at a time. So I think it's nice. So we'll see how it goes. I told him, I'm like, hey, they just, it's funny that they just come over now. And
you just have a constant full house.
Yes, it is. And it's funny because you have the friends or whoever that knock, and you have most that just walk in.
Really?
But I tell them.
My thing is, like, the dogs are going to run out. That's why I always wait. And then I'm like, I'm going to knock and not ring so they don't bark because I feel bad.
Yeah, no. But they know the dogs enough to be able to say open and slide in. So everybody knows open and slide in. But I always tell the kids, please tell me.
So you don't,
when somebody's coming, so that I'm fully dressed and I'm aware. Not like I walk around not fully dressed, but you know, not in my pajamas or whatever. Or they're like, oh, forgot to tell you. And I'm like, ah! And I run to go change. But it's nice, and I think it's funny when they get, because a lot of them are comfortable enough to go and open the cabinets, and they'll just
make themselves a plate.
And whatever. And I'm like, okay, you know, I just think it's funny, but I love that they feel comfortable enough to do that. Or we've been in our room laying down, and Aiden and his friends will walk in, and I'm like, what are you doing?
That's hilarious. I would have never done that with
Yes, like him and his friends are
always
like, oh, you know, and we'll leave our door like half open, and they're like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Salazar, guess what? Blah, blah, and they just talk to us, and my eyes get big because I'm like, I'm laying under the covers, but they don't think anything of it, which is fine. Like it's fine. It's just it's caught us off guard, and then they walk out, or they're leaving, and they'll kind of swing by, and they're like,
okay.
bye. We're like. So, but it's nice, and you know, and we talk about that with your son, how comfortable he is.
So as you guys can see or hear, our podcast ended abruptly because we started having technical difficulties. But we're glad that you guys joined us on our first podcast, and we'll catch up with you next time. Don't forget to grab a drink with me.